Sasha, what are you learning?
Well, according to the Philippine military, they have told us that Robert Hall, a Canadian who has been held hostage here since last September, that he was executed about 15 minutes after the last deadline passed for a ransom to be delivered to his captors. His captors are Abu Sayyaf, which is a militant, an extremist Muslim militant group here in the Philippines. They have a history of kidnapping both foreigners and Filipinos and demanding ransom. That's the way that they finance their operations. They had demanded 300 million Filipino pesos, which works out to about 8 million Canadian dollars, for the release of Robert Hall. That apparently did not get delivered by 3 o'clock this afternoon here in the Philippines. So about 15 minutes later, the military said that they received word that he had been executed. This has come obviously as a shock here, as well as I'm sure in Canada. This comes only a few weeks after another Canadian was executed here as well. Similar situation, also kidnapped at the same time as Robert Hall. A ransom apparently also not paid to the satisfaction of the captors, and he was also killed.
Sasha, as you say, that was John Ridsdale, whose news of his murder came just a few weeks ago. And after that, the Canadian government certainly faced a lot of questions over its refusal to negotiate with kidnappers. Is there any word at all of any contact having been made with this militant group in the hours before this latest killing, as we knew that deadline was approaching today?
There has been information that there was an attempt at negotiations, not between the Canadian government and this group, but between another group that was representing the family, certainly representing Robert Hall. But those negotiations were not successful. Apparently, nobody could raise the amount of money that was actually being demanded, which was a very high sum. There's a perception here that foreigners can raise a lot of money very, very quickly. And so it looks as though Abu Sayyaf, the captors, were holding firm. We do know that there were at least a couple of Canadian military advisors who came here to work with the Philippine military, not on the front lines, not on the ground, but in the back rooms as advisors, as the Philippine military has continued its own attempts to basically get rid of and defeat Abu Sayyaf with various operations that have been going on over the past weeks. They obviously were not successful in rescuing the hostages that were being held. There is still a Norwegian man and at least one Philippine woman who are still being held by the group.
Sasha, thank you for the very latest there. CBC News Asia correspondent Sasha Petrusik in Manila.